It's what I've learned to be the most important thing. Just be grateful at all times because is is always beautiful. It's how we think and how we perceive things that make it seem either to be this or that. But it's from what I've learned, life is always beautiful, man. You know what I mean? Life is always beautiful. It's our perception of life. You know what I mean? That actually determines how we view life, and we can always work on that. Um, but when I'm just coming on here just to tap in, and I have used AI tools like Chat GPT, and I was just sharing information like what I'm all about, what I do, and Chat GPT ended up like offering to help script like my videos or my podcast, how to present myself, how to hook people in, and you know what I mean. And that sounds good and everything, but for me, it's more like I just want to be myself. It's not like I don't want to learn how to do something properly, but it's like how I got here is really, you know what I mean. Like I dropped out of school, and but I never stopped learning. I've always been learning. I've always been reading, particularly things that excite me, interest me. You know what I mean? Not just I hated school because they would tell you what to do. They would tell you, you know what I'm saying, what's right, what's wrong. Be quiet. This is how you gotta behave. This is how you gotta carry yourself, and this is what you need to learn. These are the questions that you should be asking. No, you shouldn't be asking those questions. No, 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 no. That's not in the syllabus. You know what I'm saying? That's not in the curriculum and things like that. And I never really like that. I like thinking for myself. So I've always been thinking for myself, always do my thing. And with AI, I think it's tempting, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just want AI to do everything for you. But at the end of the day, it's like you really, really need to be thinking for yourself because you might just lose it. You know what I mean? The next thing you know, you cannot even think for yourself. You have got AI doing everything for you, and you're talking about you're gonna be making money. It's not always about the money. You know what I'm saying? Money is not everything. Your soul is the most important thing. Knowing that you're on your purpose is the most important thing. And for the longest time, I didn't know what my purpose was, and I felt miserable. I was miserable. You feel me? But I feel like the most important thing in life is knowing what your purpose is, what you were put here on earth to do. When you know that, everything else, man, just seems to find its place. Everything else just falls into place. I'm not saying it becomes easy, but it's like once you know what your purpose is, you cannot go back. You know what I mean? You cannot be bought, you cannot be sold, and you just know what you're all about. You know what I mean? And the powers that be don't like people knowing what their purpose is because that way they cannot control us. They cannot tell us what to do. You know what I mean? It's like, well, now more than ever, it's more important that we speak on these things because there's an agenda that's taking place. This is not some conspiracy. This is facts. And everything that's being put in front of our eyes, everything that is being shoved in our faces, is a distraction. It is to keep us preoccupied so that we don't pay attention to what's really going on. Which is why I'm talking about this AI is a tool, but knowing what we know about human nature, it's always gonna fall end up in the wrong hands, and it's always gonna be manipulated. It's gonna be used against the majority. You know what I'm saying? The masses gonna suffer because of this AI, just like we've been suffering because of um, any other technology, any other development, any other, you know what I mean? It's always been like we still, if a small group of people take hold of this this technology, then that's it. You know what I mean? Do you know that there is enough resources on planet Earth to feed and to clothe everybody in silk or whatever you feel me? Whatever fabric that's like up there, it's enough, but it's because It's because the powers that be, people who are in control, do not want it that way. They set it up in a way where the majority of us have to suffer, and if you're gonna make it, you're gonna have to step on somebody else in order for you to get to the top. And we have come to believe that that's the only way you can make it in life. You know what I mean? It's dog eat dog world. That's how it is. No, that's not how it is, but that's how they have made it to be. And now it's gonna get even uglier if we don't do something about it. And a lot of us feel like, oh, I'm just one person, what could I possibly do, I'm insignificant. You know what I mean? That's what they want you to believe. That's how they want you to think. That's how they want you to move. Next thing you know, you old and you dead. All the potential you've had, all the things you could have done is gone. You know what I mean? And well, I might be all over the place, but my point is we have so much power within ourselves. As long as we start knowing what our purpose is and start living according to that purpose, everything that you do, where you hang out, the people that you hang out with, it has to be determined by a purpose. If these people, if these places, these jobs, the mindset that you have is not in alignment with your purpose, you need to start doing that work. And that's the most important thing that we need to do. We need to be working on ourselves. And how do we work on ourselves? When we always busy at a job that we hate, when there's so much noise, when we always constantly distracted, when we always on social media. And I don't know if you guys want to tap into this and look into what they call color therapy, how certain colors induce certain feelings or make us think in a certain way. There's this thing that happens when you say you look at a red color. It makes you, it's lustful, or it makes you want to be intimate or something like that. I don't want to go into because I haven't done the research. But my point is, if you could look into these things, so these colors, they're being used to get us hooked in certain ways. So these blue colors on our devices, for instance, it actually messes up your hormones, like your serotonin, your what's the other one? It's melatonin. I don't know, but it messes you up. So my point is, there is a warfare that is take that we are actually going through a warfare, and the worst part is we don't even realize it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just wanted to hop in real quick and share with you guys. I know that there aren't too many people watching, but I'm not really worrying about who's watching and who's not, because at the end of the day, man, it's all about getting the message out there. It's all about being true to yourself and standing for what you believe in. You know what I mean? A lot of people can do it, and we've been programmed to move like that. Where you cannot stand for anything. You just we constantly being bombarded with fear mongering, uh, worrying, anxiety, depression. We were constantly worrying about what am I gonna eat, how am I gonna pay my bills. I gotta go to this job because why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because, well, if I don't, I'm gonna be homeless. That's your belief, and that's how they want you to think. You know what I'm saying? I quit my job last year, and I never went hungry. You feel me? I didn't have like a solid plan like that. I mean, I had a little bit saved up, but I could see just how God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, because a lot of people don't believe in God. Why? Because of how they were introduced to God, because of the people who should, the people who should be leading and showing people the way. They're the ones that actually misleading the people. You feel me? It's like your rabbi or your bishop, whoever it is, they corrupted. 99% of them are corrupted, and they messed up. And we are spiritual beings. We can pick up on these things, and we pick up something is not right. You know what I mean? How can you show me the heaven's gate when you are a hypocrite yourself? You know what I mean? So it's like we know that. So because of that, the Bible says something like the people, the Pharisees or whoever they are, who should be showing people the way, are the ones who actually misleading the people, and they're not allowing people to enter the kingdom of heaven, and they themselves have not entered. So my thing, what I've come down to is that you gotta, it's a lonely road. You gotta find your own way. You feel me? You gotta find your own way. You gotta tap in with yourself. You gotta do the inner work. That's what I've done. That's what I'm doing, and it's worked out for me so far because I feel pretty free. I'm out here speaking my mind. You know what I'm saying? No caring what people think, how I look. I mean, I do care how I look, but it not like I'm worried that I might not look a certain way. I might not appeal to a certain group of people. I'm not tripping about that anymore, but I used to for the longest time. It's a beautiful day. You feel me? Sun is shining. The weather is sweet. You know what I'm saying? The birds are singing. I don't have no $1 million, but I got my freedom. Like the freedom is really up here. Because if you really look at it, it's like we're not really free. You don't really own your home. You know what I'm saying? You don't really own your car. You don't really own nothing, which is why they're pushing for this agenda where we're gonna move to this AI state where everything is gonna be done by AI. AI gonna do all our jobs, and it's gonna bring about this great abundance where we're just gonna be sitting around and we're gonna be surviving. We're gonna be thriving. They say on basic. Is it basic universal basic income? Or whatever they calling it. Well, I personally don't see that working out pretty good for us because you know what I'm saying. I feel like it's God's law that we work. The moment you just sit around do nothing, man, you start dying. You feel me? You gotta be doing your work. You gotta work on what you love to do. That's the thing. Not the job where you go, you don't really like it. If you love your job, then that might be your purpose. You need to really then double down and really lock in and be the best that you can be. You know what I'm saying? See how you can make the world a better place. That's how you go about figuring out what your purpose is. How is what you're doing making the world a better place? It's not always about you because we are all connected. So if you're only thinking about you, you're being short-sighted and you're being, I don't want to say selfish, but maybe you don't know better. All the things that we do because we don't know better. If we knew better, we'll do better. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes, man. But but you know what I'm saying? I just feel empowered. I feel liberated. I feel great, man. Cause I mean it matters how you feel, man. You know what I'm saying? They talk about, oh, you don't have to. Who cares how you feel, man? Who cares how you feel? You just gotta be a man. Do the things that you hate. And I get that, man. But you gotta understand that there are two different systems here. There's the system, the man-made system, um, which is what's making things happen right now. That's what we're living under. But there's the divine system, and that is the system that's gonna bring heaven here on earth, and that is the system that is that's the system that we need. You know what I'm saying? To bring here, and how is it gonna come here by us doing the right thing, by us doing what needs to be done. That's how we're gonna bring that God system, that divine system, to replace this man-made system, which has never been fair, can never be fair. Only a few at the top get to control everything, and they're gonna decide. I mean, yo, man, if AI is definitely gonna do everything for us, it's gonna do all the jobs, and people gonna be sitting at home doing nothing and waiting for this universal basic income. That's gonna be you know what I'm saying, that they're talking about is gonna be there. It's gonna take care of everybody. If that's really the case, why would they need us? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got people dying off it in wars. You know what I'm saying? These wars, we could just sit down and just talk. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, what's going on? But it's like when you're a soldier, you only take orders. You don't speak back. You don't reason. You just okay. They say jump. You say how high. You don't even say how high. You just jump. You know. You can't think for yourself. You know what I mean? That's how they want everybody else to be, just like a soldier. You know what I'm saying? You don't question nothing. You take orders. You do what you're told. You know what I mean? That's how you're gonna live. Be a good slave. Now I don't care. I don't care how y'all take that. Some soldiers might not like that, but hey, man, I've only been here on Earth a few couple years, and I this is what I've picked up, and it's really crazy. I never agreed with this. You know what I'm saying? Now I finally get to speak up. Thank God for the internet, and for this social media platform. We get to express our views, even though we know that there is an agenda, even though we know that certain views will not be pushed as far. You know what I'm saying? Certain things will not be pushed, but if you're doing some funny stuff, oh, you're gonna see that all the way, all over your timeline. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. They cannot stop the truth, man. This is the truth according to me, and the truth is really not something that we can pin down and say this is the truth for everybody. But each and everybody gotta find their truth and live according to their truth, and that's how you become a G, and that's how you become real, and that's how you become free. You feel me? That's how you become free. Um, but yeah, man, I was really going on a tangent, but it's all good, man. I was just saying, look, man, I don't feel like they're gonna need a lot of human beings. Once we have this AGI in effect, it's like, well, what do they need us for? They needed us for labor, because now when the AI is doing all the job, I don't feel that they're gonna need the majority of us. So we need to be praying. We need to be praying. I'm not talking out of fear, but I'm talking out of knowing that we are connected to that divine power, to that divine unlimited omnipotent omnipresent power, that source where we really come from. We need to reestablish that connection so that we can sort of like counter what the AI is doing. Because if you're just gonna leave how you've been living the past 10 years and just relying on your own thinking, on your own understanding, I don't think you're gonna make it. If we keep moving that way, we're not gonna make it. We need to really tap in with our intuition and just be more and more psychic. I know not everybody's psychic like that. It's a lot of work needs to be done, but man, you can always do anything that you want to do. The Bible says so, man. The Bible says so. Anything that you put your mind to, anything that you so desire, you can have. You know what I mean? You just need to do the right work. And how, some of the work is actually getting rid of these programming, these limitations, these, you know what I'm saying? That's been um these things that's been instilled within us from a young age, man. When you were younger, you knew you could do anything. You know what I'm saying? Your imagination was on point. But they started telling you, you gotta get with business. Are you crazy? What are you doing? The world does not revolve around you. Well, it does actually, man. You know what I'm saying? It does. You talk about, oh, you gotta share your toys. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're a bad person. You know, that kind of thing, that they start getting into your mind. They start making you feel guilty, and because you want to get along, next thing you know, you putting other people first. You're letting people step all over you. You are a victim. You know what I'm saying? You've lost your power. So let's get that power back. Okay, i'm just gonna I'm just gonna end it right here, man. You feel me? I'm just gonna end it right here. Until next time, unlock next level, man. There's always next level. So don't settle, all right? Peace, much love, man. Thank you for tuning in.